everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on, you foxes!
Hello, fellow Fox fans. Good evening. Happy New Year. You are watching
Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chums. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV.
How are we doing? Headache or all right? Like me, I mean, what could you do last night? What could you do that was illegal anyway? We are, but even more importantly, we're back to the football. How are we feeling? Confident? Apprehensive? This time last year, the wheels started to come off the wagon for Leicester City after a good start. Is it going to happen again this season? Oh, it's going to be interesting. We've got a bit of a trip on Sunday all the way up to Geordieland and some. Yep, it's Newcastle away. Going to say good evening to Matthew. Thanks for joining us, Matthew. Hope you recovered from the show the other night. Happy New Year to you too. Is it going to be a Happy New Year for ourselves? Is it going to be a Happy New Year for Newcastle? Or, like I said before, when the buses arrive, they arrive 2 draws in the row. Are we going to have a third one? Well, let's bring in Adam, who has very kindly agreed to join us from Newcastle Fans TV, at Newcastle Fans TV on Twitter. Happy New Year. Good evening, Adam.
Yes, you too, Chris. Happy New Year to you and all your followers. Hope you're all well.
Yeah, well, as well as we can be in these conditions. Hope you guys are as well. I don't know about you. I'm just wondering, sort of, are we going to finish the season? I mean, it's looking a bit again, isn't it?
It is. There's the odd games getting called off. You know, we had the first one a couple of weeks ago against Villa. You know, it was pretty bad up here in the northeast. Affected a few of our team. And it's making its way down. You know, man's. You know, Fulham City or was Fulham Tottenham off the other night?
I think it was Fulham Tottenham. I think wasn't
Tottenham it? Man City had a game off, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a month's break. It wouldn't surprise me if that's coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just sort of getting back into it, aren't we? But it is what it is. We've sort of got to go with it, sort of thing. But fingers crossed that we can get through it as much as we can. But obviously, at the end of the day, you've got to think everybody's health is more important. But we were just starting to sort of see the dribble back of fans and what have you. But look, I've got to talk. I'm going to bring this up now because it is going to be the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about the guy himself, but you know. This guy here, Mike Ashley. I mean, I want to talk about it because I want to get him out the way. But when he first took over, I mean, you had, and I can't remember who it exactly was, but you had some good owners before that, I think, didn't you? And we're doing all right, if my memory serves me rightly.
Yeah, we had Freddie Shepherd before Mike Ashley, Sir John Hall before him. You know, pumped money into the club. Obviously, it wasn't the same money as you talk in the days market, but
no.
Yeah, they had. Although Freddie Shepherd made some poor decisions, his heart was always there in trying to get Newcastle as far as up the league as he can. 2007, this clown came in, and year by year, he's just ripped the soul out of the football club. As you say, hopefully we won't have to spend too long talking about him, but he's just surrounded himself with people who know nothing about football. He brought managers in who know nothing about football, bar probably one or two. Not very popular on Tyneside. He's 2 relegations as well. Using the championship in 2009 or 10 when we went down the first time. And look what yous have gone and done in that time. It's Newcastle fans would love knowing us, like yous have got up there down there. Sorry. So yeah, he's just a waste of space, and hopefully as soon as he's going to be better for us.
Bringing Rafa in, did that buy him some sort of brownie points? Because I mean, let's be honest with you, great manager Rafa.
I wouldn't say I don't want to say bought him brownie points. I mean, we were pretty much already down when Rafa came in. We'd had Steve McLaren, who at the end just absolutely, just destroyed the football team. We had some decent players in that team, Ronaldo, so players like that. And Rafa came in, same as Shearer did, 10 years ago. There just wasn't really enough time. Rafa, what he did do, and it was nothing to do with Mike Ashley, but he got the fans back on board a bit. All the fans were united again for 2 or 3 years. We won the championship. We finished, secured Premier League survival at the first attempt, and we looked like we were going to build something. But Rafa's not stupid. He knew Mike Ashley wasn't going to invest. He knew he wasn't going to invest. It's not just the team; it's the training ground. There's a lot of PE, it needs investing in, and it's not happening. So he just left. He even went to China ahead of signing a new contract at Newcastle. So he didn't want to work for Ashley, and now we've got Steve Bruce, who, he's probably the lowest paid manager in the league, working, and that's what Ashley likes.
And do you like? I mean, I was going to come on to him later, but we'll lead into that now. Steve Bruce, is the fans behind him, or is he? Is he? I mean, he's a Geordie lad, isn't he? He's one of your own.
Well, just because he played for Wallsend Boys Club when he was 12 doesn't make him a Geordie. He's a Man United legend and managed Sunderland. So the Newcastle fans have lost a lot of patience with him. I know a lot of Leicester fans, probably don't keep a close eye on Newcastle, but he started biting at the fans in press conferences. The football is some of the worst I've seen ever. It is worse than the McLaren years. It is poor. We're a very poor football team. And he's lost probably, I'd say, 95% of the fan base who were trying to give him a decent chance. But unless he changes his tactics and starts winning games, he isn't going to get them back on side. We're coming in the game on Sunday off the back of a decent point, but we'll see how he sets up.
I think this might be somebody here. That Adam's a strapping lad.
That's Carl. He's from closer to you, Carl. I'm sure he's from Birmingham, Carl. He does the watch-alongs. Me and Carl hosts the watch-alongs. So
right.
But he's not wrong.
He's got a soft spot for you there, by the look of it. I mean, I get what you're saying with Bruce, because if you don't take to a manager kind of straight away, it's hard, and unless they suddenly. Well, we've been in both positions. We had Martin O'Neill, and when he first joined us, things were not going well. We didn't, we had the odd Martin out sort of campaigns. Yeah. One game turned it around, and obviously what he did for us, the rest of it is history. But more recently, obviously with Claude Puel, it just wasn't we just couldn't warm to and couldn't take to him. Do you look at a club like Leicester now, and we're not size-wise the same as Newcastle. We've won things more recently, obviously, than Newcastle. But do you look at us and our owners and think, why isn't that us?
Yeah. A lot of fans would use Leicester as a blueprint in ownership and choice of manager. The way Leicester have done things, especially the last 10 years, has been the right way. I don't know if Chris is gone, is he?
No, I'm here.
Oh, he's still there. Sorry. From getting up the championship and winning the league the way he did, right investment. Right choice of managers at the time. As you say, there was a couple of bad choices as well. Shakespeare got the job and wasn't really ready for it. The fella you mentioned before. But then when it seemed to start declining, you have gone and got Brendan Rodgers, who although he still has his critics, is a brilliant manager. And you get the best out of young players. We don't seem to do that. A lot of Newcastle fans will be very, very envious of Leicester, obviously winning the Premier League. I mean,
yeah,
that's something we probably not see in my lifetime now. The money involved, so you seem to do the right things. As a club, you seem to do it the right way.
Adam there, Stephen there. Sorry, Adam says we feel your pain. Great fan base mugged by Ashley. One of the overriding memories of us actually winning the league was the True Geordie when he did his show afterwards, and you could feel the pain that he felt, the fact that we'd come from nowhere to do that. But then expectations do rise, and had Puel come in maybe before we'd won it, he might have been given more time, or what he was, because he was starting to bring the young players through. But it was just we do sometimes as fans expect too much, but we also expect decent football, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, we get a lot of criticism off other fans, maybe some Leicester, other clubs, they look at Newcastle in the league and say, what they're complaining about, where they expect to be. And I can, there's part of us can understand that because mathematically we're doing okay, but just at the minute, our brand of football is terrible. So any Newcastle fan you see complaining, they're not necessarily complaining about where we are in the league. We accept that, we probably are going to finish roundabouts where we are. It's just, we think we can do a lot better. We've got some exciting players. Ryan Fraser, Alan St. Maximin, Callum Wilson, John Joe Shelby, Fabian Shaw. I could name 11 or 12 players who've gone seriously back under Steve Bruce. And most of the fans would agree with me. So that's our frustrations at the minute. Our expectation isn't to finish in the top 10. Well, mine certainly isn't. It is just survival, but it's just we're not. We're going to get dragged into this if we don't pull our finger out.
I mean, I can remember when the Martin O'Neill years for Leicester, and we were finishing 9th, 10th each season. But I remember starting each season thinking, I just want to stay up. If we finish 16th, 17th. Now, because of how we finished last year, we got the Europa League. That's fine. A lot of clubs would have bitten your hand off for that, but because of where we'd been all season, second, third, to lose it in the way we did. But that's fans for you, isn't it? You look back at what you've achieved in the past and you think we should be doing better. And we only look back to 2016 and think we should be doing better.
And it's not fickle as fans. You're entitled to do so. Any Newcastle fan would bite your hand off for Europa League football week in, week out. Now, away. I know fans can't go at the minute, but away trips. There's some of the best memories of your lives. And I remember 2012-13 when we finished 5th. We were only a game away from Champions League under Pardew, and we came away disappointed. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's your ambition as a football fan. You don't want to win the Premier League. I'd dream of that. I'd love to see Newcastle do that one day. Yeah. Yourself and thousands of other Foxes fans have been able to see that, and you'll cherish them moments, for the rest of your life, and that's what football's about.
And Craig here, he's a fellow presenter with me, does the preview show on Tuesday. Funny enough, his game that he remembered, we always have a sort of memorable game that we asked Craig about, was actually a 7-1 defeat, I think it was, by yourselves in the Championship under Kevin Keegan. But quickly moving on, we don't want to remember that. Craig says he was never really convinced by Rafa. He always thought he had an excuse at the ready. Nothing was ever down to him.
Yeah, you'll still, if you ever come up the Tyneside again, you'll still get a lot of split decision on Rafa. I agree. His football wasn't great; it was quite negative. But what he did always have was a game plan. We were a lot more structured. Our formation was a lot tighter. We didn't concede many goals. We've had a few hidings already. Man U have put 5 past us. Leeds have put 5 past us. We have no structure now. And what Rafa did give us was a bit of structure. And as my point was before, he had the fans on board at the time he did. When he went, there was a lot of negativity, but I think that's the frustration down to Mike Ashley. Would I have Rafa back? I probably wouldn't. I think he's gone. His time's gone. The Premier League's moved on a lot, in even the last couple of years. So yeah, I can see why fans and pundits didn't really rate Rafa's style. But for me personally, I took him because he united the fan base, which is something we haven't had in a lot of years.
And what's happening with this sale? I mean, it seems to be every season we look at Newcastle, and as fans, we feel your pain that you don't like your owners. We've all had periods in our own club's life where we felt the same. But every year you seem to be linked with another sale, another consortium coming in for you. What's the current position?
I mean, as you say, it's every year, every transfer window, we become the laughing stock because I personally don't get my hopes up anymore. The last time, isn't that our last must be on? The last time the takeover, it was meant to be, the billionaires, the Saudis were coming in, they were going to transform Newcastle, and the media really got, and a couple of self-publicists in Newcastle really got over people's hopes up. They were tweeting stuff, we know this, we know that, and fans buy into it because we've had nothing for years and years. And we were hoping, if they come in, we don't want to be Man City. We don't I do. We'd love to go and win the league, but we just want someone to come in and rebuild the club. The stadium's falling apart, the training ground's falling apart. Just someone to come in and give the city a bit of a lift. And it never came. As far as I'm aware, it's done. It's dead in the water. And until Mike Ashley lowers the asking price for Newcastle United, he's asking 350 million for what? As I said, there's nothing there for 350 million, because things need doing at the club. So unless he significantly reduces it so someone can come in who's maybe he's not as wealthy but can invest for the future, we're going to have him still, unfortunately.
But what does, I mean, obviously from Matt Ashley's point of view, he knows he's hated now. I mean, I don't think he could ever go and stand in the crowd like he did when he first took over. Would he? I don't know. If he's as bad as it is, and why doesn't he just reduce the price and get out?
Yeah, I mean, we ask the questions all the time. He was desperate for that 350 million. That was allegedly a great price, and he was desperate for it to go and invest in the high street, which is his aim. That's where he's made his millions in the high street, and that's what he wants to do. Which is fair enough to him. But honestly, we've talked about and we've spoken about Mike Ashley for years. He's got thick skin. He doesn't care what the fans think. He doesn't care what the Premier League thinks. He wants to make money, and you can't really make a profit from a football club. No,
I think you do not buy a football club to make a profit at all. Craig saying there, now this again, Craig coming back. Good evening, Craig. Happy New Year to you, mate. And I apologise, I didn't say that earlier. He's been to Newcastle quite a few times on away grounds, and he's saying, "What are your thoughts about away fans being tucked away in the gods? Would you improve the atmosphere to bring them pitch side?" He gets vertigo every time he goes.
Yeah. It is. There's thousands of our fans sit up in level 7 as well on the other side. But it could. I mean, level 7 is probably our quietest, the quietest area of fans. It's a family zone. So it does take away from the atmosphere. It used to be the singing section. It used to be called. All the old Newcastle fans used to be up there. It used to create a real hostile atmosphere. But again, Mike actually changed that because that area of fans used to sing abuse at him. So yeah, I mean, as I said, Mike actually sucked the atmosphere out of St James's Park as well. There isn't much of an atmosphere anymore. If they want to bring the away fans down to create a bit more banter, that'd be fine by me and probably other fans. But yeah, it is. It's a lot of stairs.
Well, if someone else wouldn't make it, I'd have to be airlifted up there. But we're talking about the match this weekend. It's on Sunday the 3rd, and we said at St James's Park. 2:15 kickoff. It's live on Sky Sports for those that have it. I was looking at our history, and this is something I always do with Craig on the preview show. We've played each other 127 times. 47 we've managed to win, 53 you've managed to win. I think those tend to be a bit further back with yourselves, though. It's been less recent history. But that said, if we look at ourselves in the Premier League, 26 times we've played, 11 wins to you, 10 wins for us. So we've obviously got, it's tight between us. It's no sort of one-way traffic, is it?
No, we've had some good games down the years, going back to the 90s, as you mentioned before. We've always had some good games with Leicester. I think you was a 6 unbeaten at St James's Park. Correct me if I'm wrong. You've got a good record up at our place. Always a tricky team to play, especially under Brendan Rodgers. It'll be a tough game for us on Sunday. Very tough.
Brilliant. And I'm just going to say, so that if you are watching this, join us on YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook, Leicester Till I Die TV, and just click the links. You'd be more than welcome. And if you're on YouTube, remember to subscribe. Looking at our recent form, that was a good result. You were home to Liverpool, weren't you? That was a good result there, though, a draw with them.
It was. I mean, the fans needed a point. We've been down and out really since, most of the season, to be fair. Yeah. The Fulham game really kicked the stuffing out of us on the Leeds game. Man City, you know what to expect going to City. I mean, teams attack them, we don't, and we won't be attacking you, to be fair, which we're probably going to. But it was a good point. Our goalkeeper, I don't know if you know much about him, Carl Darlow at the minute, English lad. He's absolutely on form. He's the best, in my opinion, the best keeper in the Premier League at the minute. He'll be busy again Sunday against Vardy and Harvey Barnes and the likes. He's keeping us in a lot of games. I mean, he made some world-class saves against Salah on Boxing Day. And it was a good point we stuck in. We were much better than we have been, much better. And that's what we need to do. We have to take the performance on Boxing Day into Sunday. Otherwise, it's just a wasted point.
It is, and you don't have to tell me about Fulham. We feel your pain with that one. At least you got the draw. We didn't even manage that. It is. I mean, certainly for our season, and when you look at us, it's sort of a bit like a hokey cokey. I've described it. You know, we win one game, we lose one game, we win one game, we lose. We can't seem to get any form, but we are better from home. Away from home, we do a lot better than we do at home. And obviously, this is your place. Does that worry you at all?
Yeah, as I said, I think you're a great team. You've got a very balanced squad. I think you're solid at the back, a good midfield, and very good going forward. So it's a very balanced squad. It's not like you leak a lot of goals, but you do score goals as well. So it's going to be a tough game for us. And what you mentioned before about your inconsistencies, with no disrespect, that's probably the only thing that will stop you going on to challenge for the title this year. Yeah. But I do think he's off finish top 4. I really do this year.
I love the cut of your jib, mate. Thank you very much. And if we look at last, that's the league as it stands at the moment. Where are we? I actually have managed not to bring them up here, but last season, I believe, and I'm going to sort of warble on a minute while I try and pick them up here. But did we beat you twice last season?
You definitely beat us at the King Power.
Yeah,
my memory's terrible. Lee and the other lads would know straight away, but probably
I know. I'm desperately, like I say, trying to sort of. I had the graphic ready, but I don't think I loaded it up. But
you tell you it was a year ago today we played you at St James's because it popped up on my Facebook memories and you beat us that day.
Yes,
I can't remember what the score was.
No, I'm surprised you don't remember what the score is. I'm very surprised that you are pretending to forget because we beat you 5-0.
So I'm sure my Facebook memory went same old shite.
Yeah, we had 2 wins over you, 3-0 at ours and a 5-0. No, I think it was 3-0 at your place back in January. Yeah, and then in the September before. Sorry, the 5-0 was the September before when it was at ours, and that was when we were actually on form. Which was
there's not much change for us. If anything, we get worse. So.
Yes, I mean, it was around this time last year it all started to go wrong for us. So fingers crossed. Let's have a look what we're getting some messages. Apparently West Ham are beating Everton. 1-0 it was. Your guys are saying the club, council and police won't allow the fans downstairs because of safety concerns. Are you worried? Oh, this is gonna cause a bit of a stink. Are you worried Sunderland under billionaire 22-year-old owner are going to rise from the ashes?
I mean, I know a lot of Sunderland fans. I've got a lot of friends who are Sunderland fans, and they're very optimistic. You know, they've had terrible owners down the years as well. I love to see Sunderland struggle. I have a lot of banter with them, but yeah. I miss the time with your derbies. The big days up here in the northeast. I mean, we've been terrible. We've lost. I'm not even going to mention how many we've lost recently, but I do miss them. If they had to come back to the Premier League, it'd be good for the crack. But he's a very young owner. It's his mum and dad. You know, it's his mum and dad's money. He could ruin them, or he could take them on to good things. But I say, like, there's. But do you not, as a Newcastle fan and everything that you're going through, do you not think, well, we could be Sunderland? You know, what they've been through. We do. That does. It does cheer us up every time we see them get beat off the likes of Oldham or teams like that. We do have a little laugh and say, well, it could be worse, but it's they've been through the mill, and it was all on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, get a good laugh at them. Yeah. Somebody was asking and looking at the table at the moment, and we're in third. And I must admit, sometimes I look at that and thinking, like, with some of our results, God almighty, how are we still in third? But we are, and the table doesn't lie. Excuse me. You're in 14th. What are your honest hopes for the season? Me personally, just get the 38 points as quick as we can. Yeah. And build on that. We've got some tough games coming up. After you, I think we've got Arsenal, Leeds. I mean, there's no easy games in the Premier League, but we're just not playing good football at the minute. You know, teams look at us going, we have to beat Newcastle. As yourself, you will be very disappointed Sunday if you don't beat Newcastle, and that's how teams feel about us at the minute. But for me, get the 38 points and you build on that. I'd love a top 10 finish, but I don't think we will. I think we're going to finish round about where we are now.
And would that be enough for the fans to give Steve Bruce time, or is Steve Bruce going to be there as long as Ashley is, if you like?
The pressure's mounting on him because we're only halfway through the season now, and we've had some terrible performances. We haven't had many good ones. Burnley at home, possibly Liverpool at home, but although it was a good point, it's a sad state of affair that we're having to just accept points at Liverpool at home. Usually their games, everyone's up for, and we've just gone so far back as a club. No, I think Steve Bruce has burnt his bridges with a lot of fans now. The only way he possibly could have got fans back on side was getting to the League Cup final, but we lost away to Brentford a couple of weeks ago. That's Championship opposition, although they're a good team. We still set up to defend, and Brentford were much better than us on the night. So no, I'd be very surprised if any fans took the Steve. I don't think he's going to get sacked because there's no one ready to come in. But he's getting let off with the fans not being in the ground, because St James's Park on Sunday would be venomous against him. Okay.
This, and I'm not going to sort of lie here, I'm actually pinching this question from another Leicester chat channel that I saw come up, and it was a very, I thought, good question to ask certain teams. If you did get rid of Steve Bruce, would you take Nigel Pearson?
No, I personally wouldn't. A bit unhinged for me. I mean, to be fair, he built your squad for the when he's won the league. I wouldn't say built it, but he had, his mark was still on the team. But you see, like, how he got sacked from Watford and that. There's just something about him. Not for me. We've been asked the question loads of times. If Steve Bruce is to go, it's going to be a manager who's got to come and work on a shoestring budget. There's no money to spend. He's got to be a yes man, really. Is there many people like that out? Probably Eddie Hall is one to come in and just see us through Ashley's tenure. But yeah,
I don't think you couldn't call Nigel Pearson a yes man. That is
no. Some Newcastle
without a budget, I think.
Some Newcastle fans would. If I put it out there, would you have Nigel? A lot would. A lot wouldn't. I think Nigel Pearson's just one of them men. You love him or you hate him. And he's had a couple of spells as caretaker manager for us years ago. But he could come. He was one of them ones. Ashley probably would go for, to be fair. But Bruce isn't going to get sacked unless we drop into the bottom three, which isn't impossible, to be fair.
No. Who should Leicester be wary of on Sunday?
Callum Wilson. You should know Callum Wilson. You know all about him. He's been in the Premier League years. He's our only goal-scoring threat, to be honest.
I actually live just outside Bournemouth. I was so disappointed when Bournemouth got relegated because that was my home game virtually. You're 10 minutes down the road to see Leicester Bournemouth. Yeah, I was disappointed we didn't go for him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we got him for 20 million, and it's not just his goals he brings to the team. It's his whole build-up player. He works so hard for the team. He loves playing. You can tell he loves playing for the club. It's just a shame fans can't be there to see him. We've got a big miss on Sunday. Isaac Hayden's out again. Unless you watch the club week in, week out, you may not know much about him, but he breaks up all our midfield play. He's a great tackler. Wins a lot of challenges. He's suspended, so he's going to be a big miss. Yeah. Matty Longstaff's come back in the team, young Geordie lad. Starting to find a bit of form. He had a really good game against Liverpool. I expect him to start again. But our flair play, Alan St. Maximum's out. He's missed 4 or 5 games now. There's young Jacob Murphy, who works hard. John Joe Shelvey, I'd expect to start again. You should know all about him. He's been in the league years. He's been pretty poor for us, to be fair, but he's always got that little bit, he could. We've been decent, half decent at the back against Liverpool. Got some good centre halves at the club, Kieran Clark, Fernandez, and our keeper's been our man of the match probably every game this season. So
he's been around a while, Darlow. Did he used to play Nottingham Forest, or am I making that up?
No, he signed for Newcastle years ago along with Jamal Lascelles. He was I might get wrong for saying this, but I'm sure he was our number 1 in the Championship. Him and Rob Elliott played games, and then he hasn't been in the team. We've had Martin Dubravka for a couple of years now. But Dubravka's been. Darlow's came in, and he should be knocking on England. Gareth Southgate should be giving him a call. He's been absolutely phenomenal.
And obviously, you're going to say Jamie Vardy, but who from the Leicester team are you worried about?
big fan of James Maddison. Not sure if he's been in and out of the team from what I've seen. Harvey Barnes is a great player. You've got dangerous players, even the likes of Albrighton. Good set piece taker, been there for years, knows the Premier League. You're difficult to break down. Is it Tillemans in the middle? Is he fit?
Yes, he should be playing. Yes.
Yeah, another great player. And it's like old Newcastle players scoring against us. Perez did it last year. We know all about Jose Perez. He's either great on his day or an absolute lazy git. So
I was going
hopefully,
to say, because I've been saving this and I can't let it go without bringing up Jose Perez, because we have a very love-hate relationship with him here at Leicester. I want to like the guy, but he doesn't always make you like him. And I was reading a thing that said when Brendan Rodgers bought him, he bought Perez because he would break up the attack. He'd be like the first line of defence, if you like, up front, and that's what he wanted. And there was an interview saying Newcastle fans were surprised how he hasn't sort of moved on at Leicester City and gone on to better things. Were you sad to see him go, or were you like, yeah, thanks for the 30 million, enjoy it?
No, you've overpaid far too much for him. Every Newcastle fan knew that. I think if we'd let him go for 15 million, we would have been, we could have got 30 million. Thousands of Newcastle fans would have drove him down for that price. He was the same at Newcastle. He was love or hate. He got a lot of grief from the Newcastle fans, a lot at the times, and he celebrated in front of Gallagher last year when he scored. And a lot of fans I said, it's no wonder he's celebrating. People booed him for years. Yeah. He's one of these ones now. If again you put on, would you come back 50% and say yes, 50% and no? I'd look. He's been. We've asked a few times, would you take him back on loan in January, because he seems to be a bit out of favour with yourselves. A £30 million man shouldn't be sat on the bench. He should be changing the game for you, and he doesn't seem to do that. I think he'd be a good addition to the squad we've got now, as in playing behind Callum Wilson. But I think his time on Tyneside's done. But I wish him the best of luck. He's left to a club that's challenging for European football. We were just lingering in the league. He's playing Europa League football now. That's what you want from your career.
I think he is very much a Marmite type of player, and you kind of sort of agreed with that when he was at Newcastle. I mean, he can come on, and he was dropped for quite a few games. I think Brendan had literally sort of saying like, go and get your act together, and he did it on training, and he came back into the team. And in the last game we played, he looked hungry for it. And that's the thing. He was at least putting the effort in. But the problem we've got is where we've been playing him out as a winger a lot of the time. He's not a winger, is he?
No, in his last season, he kind of played as an inside forward sometimes, because he's not a player to track back, and that's when you sometimes get the worst from him, when he's asked to track back, because he's not that type of player. We had him kind of playing inside forward left. Almiron on the right, and then Rondon up top, and it worked well. But a couple of times I remember him playing on the wing for Newcastle. It doesn't work. Yeah. He needs to be playing either in a 2 up front or just as a number 10 type of player. I mean, and
that's our problem, because obviously we've got Maddison in that position.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's where Perez has got to work harder. He's playing with better players at Leicester. He's got to work hard to get in there, and that's not his. I don't think he's meant to be the best trainer. I mean, we signed him for, I think it was $500,000 from Tenerife years ago as a teenager, and to sell him for 30 million was great business from us. But I
think that was his buyout clause, wasn't it? 30 million. And I think Brendan just sort of went and he went, I'm not bothering negotiating his 30, and you had to let him go because of that. But let's just hope he does to us what ex-Leicester players do when they come to play Leicester and score. He could get a hat trick. If he could get a hat trick, I tell you what, it'd be hero worship. Do you
expect him to start, or?
No, I don't expect him to start, because we had, from our point of view, we had over the summer, we had the Spurs game, and we had the Man United game, and then we had the Crystal Palace game. And the Crystal Palace game, he made a lot of changes, and I think he'll go back for this game to the strongest lineup, because that's what he did against Spurs and Man United. And I think the Palace game, he kind of saw that Rodgers as the chance to give some other players and rest them, because obviously there's a lot of games. So I think he'll go back to his strongest lineup, and I don't think Perez. I think Perez will come on. I think we will see him at some point, but I think it'll be like the 60 minutes plus mark, if he does. But we just reminded us. I had forgotten this, but we did beat you in the League Cup as well on penalties last season. Oh, that's your guys telling us.
Lee never forgets.
Lee, you've got to let it go, mate. Let it go. don't harbour onto these things. Andy Medhurst is asking you there, what's your favourite Newcastle player of all time?
Me in my lifetime, it's obviously Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. I was fortunate enough to have a season ticket his last couple of seasons. Best I've ever seen as a centre forward. Going back before my time, who I remember, Peter Beardsley, quality players, David Ginola, Les Ferdinand, Andy Cole. I could name. We've had some legends play for us over the years. And that's a lot of the one, like me calling this, but middle-aged fans who did see the 90s. That's why they're so despondent and disinterested now, because they had a good few years where we had a bit more and watched them quality players, and now we've just really got a load of dross to watch.
Yeah. And talking of that, mate, and this is presumably Lee again here, you're not having Tillemans at all. He's not. We're not. We might let you have Perez back. Andy was. I apologise, Andy. I didn't see this when we went on to Perez, but please tell us where his best position is. I think we got that out of Adam. We've got. Where are we here? What's this one? Are you in the market for a striker? We've a lad you might be interested in. We're trying to get rid of Inacho here.
I thought it was the idiot you give us on loan a couple of years ago, and all he's still there, isn't he? Is it Salami or Salami?
Oh, yeah, by all means, have him back. Have him back. Yeah, we still got him.
He was.
We can't get rid of him, and that is unfortunately the sad. But it was another 30 million buy that. He just nothing. But
I'm sure we only played 1 or 2 games through us. Honestly, and I'm sure we were paying most of his wages.
Knowing him, he was probably injured for you.
He was. I'm sure he was. He probably was.
Asprilla. So he's mentioned Asprilla there.
Yeah, again, quality.
Yes. Where are we going here? Just said that I think there was another question I was going to bring up, but I think it might have gone by. Bruce is the right man, just hasn't got the money.
I wouldn't want to give Steve Bruce money. I wouldn't want to. And to be fair, the people say he hasn't had the money. He's had 100 million to spend at Newcastle, which is it is a lot of money. Trust me, if Steve Bruce was in charge of any, honestly, if Brendan Rodgers walked out tomorrow and you've got Steve Bruce, there'd be uproar.
Yeah. Guy asking me here, actually, have we missed Chilwell? The honest answer is no. And yeah, I didn't want him to go. Chilwell was a funny one because again he's a Marmite figure at our club. Some fans didn't like him, other fans did. My attitude was he was an England left back, and you don't get to be in England's first choice left back if you are rubbish. But he wanted to go, and to a lot of these players, he wasn't a Leicester lad. These players just want to they see it as a job, and they move on. And we're quite lucky that we brought Castagna in, who can do left or right back, and he got a bit injured, but apart from that, he had some great games since we've got him. James Justin, young lad from Luton, he's played a lot of games this season. So. No, I didn't want him to go, but he has gone, and we're not missing him. Let me put it that way. I don't think we are missing him. But I can say the poor lad. You get players like that. You must have players like that where half the fans love them, half the teams hate them. Yeah.
I think that's why it's important you get Champions League this year, because you could the odd player will do that again. He is if he's not playing Champions League. That was probably his Chelsea Champions League, aren't they? I'm sure they are. Yeah, that's probably what's the difference between Leicester and Chelsea really? It's it's just Champions League football.
I think as well, unfortunately, Lampard was his hero, which doesn't help. But look, Adam, thanks very much for joining us. I'm going to leave this with this last question here for you, because you can't go away and not give us a score prediction. So these are some of the ex-players that sort of do a few score predictions for me on my website. So you've got Steve Walsh. You'll be sat there going, you haven't heard of any of these, but never mind. Steve Walsh has gone for a 2-0. Steve Leinitz thinks you'll get a point with a 0-0. Ian Marshall and myself have also gone 2-0 as well. I guess you're not going to go 2-0, Leicester, but what are you going to go for?
I don't think we'll keep another clean sheet. I can't see us keeping 2 consecutive clean sheets. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go boring. That's what my heart sounds. It's going to be a tough game. You know, we the likes of Vardy, you know, Maddison, Barnes are good players. We're going to have to be on our game. I do think we'll concede, but I'm hoping we can get a goal too. You know, I'd take a draw now.
Yeah. Adam, it's been brilliant, especially with it being New Year's Day. Thank you so much for giving your time up for coming and joining and giving us some honest answers.
No problem. Appreciate it. Good luck for this.
And just to put the voodoo sign over you, I'm just going to put that up once more just to annoy you.
If we do beat you tomorrow, I'll be back in touch.
Well, I tell you what, we do a post-match show about 40 minutes after the end of the game. If you're not doing anything yourself, you'd be more than welcome to come on and join us.
There's any Leicester fans watching, we do a live watch along the game as well. If it's a winning or you want to have a banter with us, there's a couple of us doing a live watch along on our channel as well.
Give us how did they find that?
What's that, sorry?
How did they find that on YouTube? What's it under?
Just Newcastle Fans TV. We're on the main channel now. I think it's myself and Carl this week. Just a bit banter as we're watching the game. We've both got the game on live, bit banter, bit crack. People can comment, come in at halftime if they want. We have a fan reaction show after as well, if anyone's interested in coming on that as yourselves. Just a good crack, good banter, says, you know, light-hearted, win or lose.
So guys, we don't actually do a watch along. So guys, if you haven't got Sky or you want to put Sky on and turn the sound off and join in Newcastle Fan TV on YouTube, get on there, give them some grief. And if anybody wants to message me, I'll send you that so that you can keep posting it on during the show if you want. I can do a We Love Mike Ashley one for you, especially.
Don't like a lead blue.
And guys, I say follow them on Twitter as well at Newcastle Fans TV and have a bit of a crack with them. Adam, brilliant. Thanks so much for giving up your time on New Year's Day. I'd wish you luck on Saturday, but I wouldn't. On Sunday, I mean, but I wouldn't mean it.
No. I hope you do all right after Sunday.
Yeah, good luck after Sunday, mate. You take care. All the best.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers. So thanks to Adam there, and like I say, he's at Newcastle Fans TV. Give them a follow and look out for them on YouTube. Like you say, if you want to have a bit of a banter, watch it while you're going along with the game. And we don't do watch-alongs on here. I like to watch the game myself, but if you fancy doing that, it's always a bit of fun to go on the opposing team's one, and they always welcome you in and give you a bit of a shout-out, as in give you a bit of banter back. And I'm happy to send you the picture there of Adam. So if you want to catch up with us, Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, you can watch this up. That's going to be up obviously live straight away after this live show finishes. Leicester Till I Die TV on the old YouTube bit. And if you want to catch us up on podcast and just listen to us, and I don't blame you, I won't want to look at me either, but we're on Google, we're on Apple iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on Anchor, and there's 3 or 4 others, Podcast Live or something. We're on all of them. Leicester Till I Die is what we are under. Guys, I hope you had a new year. Happy New Year to you all. We'll see you back half an hour before kickoff. Remember, kickoff on Sunday, 2:15. So see us about 1:40. Me and Josh doing the pre-match show, looking at the team, seeing what team Brendan has booked, has chosen, and what his tactics might be. And then about 40 minutes after the game, you'll get me and Josh, and hopefully Julian Watts, the ex-player, on doing the post-match show. Guys, Happy New Year to you. Enjoy yourselves. Most of all, though, stay safe. Whatever you do, all the best. Bye-bye now.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chumps. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV. Now available on Spotify. Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Shut up and sit down.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too or I'll be back.